Hey everyone, welcome back. This week, Donald Trump's Department of Justice announced that they were going to fund a $1.8 billion program to help bail out pedophiles and other January 6ers and MAGA loyalists this week. In addition to that, Trump's decided to issue a subpoena for Hassan Piker, of all people. I guess that's just his way of diverting our attention from the fact that this asshat is going to have to surrender to Iran no later than Tuesday of this week. This week, I'm going to take my lead from Mike Figueredo over at the Humanist Report. Take a look at what he posted just a couple of days ago.
It feels like this week alone, we've gotten at least 10,000 new Trump corruption stories, and I truly don't even know how to process the sheer depth of this man's corruption because it's breathtaking and egregious. And I think that my brain is trying to force me to perceive it as a joke or a satire, maybe as some sort of coping mechanism to stop me from spiraling. I don't know. But when you really step back and you try to conceptualize it and contextualize it, most Americans they probably get the sense that Donald Trump is the most corrupt president in American history by far, and it's not even close. And I think that that's inarguable. I would agree with them. Nixon looked like a Boy Scout by comparison. But to get a sense of the scale of corruption we're talking about here, you really have to look beyond the United States because it's not just that Donald Trump is unquestionably the most corrupt president in American history. He might literally be one of the most brazenly corrupt leaders throughout the history of the fucking world.
In Saturday's edition of the Philadelphia Inquirer, one of the more egregious stories that I've seen come out of the Trump administration is buried on the inner pages of the paper. Can you guess which one it is? You're wrong. It's not the Todd Blanche pleases Trump with $1.8 billion fund, but angers many Republicans. You can go take a look at Mike's video that we started this off with. He does a great job looking at that level of confusion. What I want to draw your attention to is the story on the left. Lutnick donated $5 million to Republicans in House before his Epstein hearing. Let's take a look at that one. According to the article, the Commerce Secretary made the donation about a month before his closed-door testimony before the House Oversight Committee. Let's see what that was all about. Howard Lutnick, President Donald Trump's Secretary of Commerce, made a $5 million donation last month to a committee supporting House Republicans, an unusually large contribution for a sitting cabinet secretary. The donation was made April 1st, 4 weeks after the House Oversight Committee arranged to interview Lutnick about his ties to sex offender and financier Jeffrey Epstein. The closed-door interview took place May 6th. Lutnick gave the money to the Congressional Leadership Fund, the main political action committee behind House Republicans and Speaker Mike Johnson, according to a new filing made public Thursday. Lutnick has recently been a major Republican donor, but this was his first contribution since being named Commerce Secretary. It ties his largest ever federal donation, $5 million he gave to Trump's super PAC in 2024. Mr. Lutnick made a political donation in his personal capacity, just as many cabinet secretaries from both parties have done in the past, said Christian Eichheimer. Eichheimer? I don't know how you pronounce that fucking name. A spokesperson for the Department of Commerce. What she's making clear here is that this was not a payoff so that they didn't press him too hard about his long weekends on Epstein's Island. For that, I'm sure. Federal employees are permitted to make donations, but it's rare to see such a high-ranking official donate such a significant amount. Lutnick is the first Trump cabinet official to make a seven-figure disclosed federal donation after being confirmed to a post, according to a review of federal election filings. Federal employees are permitted to make donations, but it is rare to see such a high-ranking official donate such a significant amount. Lutnick is the first Trump cabinet official to make a seven-figure disclosed federal donation after being confirmed to a post, according to a review of federal election filings. The article goes on to say that the House Oversight Committee did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Gee, I wonder why they wouldn't want to respond to a question about a $5 million donation made to Republicans on the pedophile protector circuit that are sitting on the Oversight Committee now. The donation came at a sensitive time for Lutnick. Lawmakers have been scrutinizing his ties to Epstein since January, when the government released millions of pages of records related to Epstein. Millions of pages, by the way, that were severely edited, and they still haven't released all of the material they were supposed to. I wonder why that is. Lutnick lived next door to Epstein on the Upper East Side of New York's Manhattan borough for more than a decade, and the Commerce Secretary's name appeared in more than 250 documents in the Epstein files, a review by the New York Times found. Lutnick had claimed until recently to not have been in the same room with Epstein after an encounter in 2005. But the file showed that Lutnick traveled to Epstein's private island in 2012, and they had other interactions. The story is blatantly obvious. This guy Lutnick paid $5 million, knowing that he had been on Epstein's island numerous times, that he lied to Congress numerous times, and in a way to cover that up, he donated $5 million to half of the oversight committee that was scheduled to question him about his ties to Epstein. This guy's a motherfucking. And you Republicans out there, you church going fundamentalist little shits, will go to your graves defending him and his boss, Donald Trump. I'm going to say it right now. Donald Trump is a fucking. And if you don't believe that, go look at the Epstein files that you guys were bitching and moaning about getting for the longest amount of time. And with that, I'm going to say thanks to everyone who's been checking out my videos. This is my 10th one. Hopefully you're liking what I'm doing. If you don't, or you do, let me know in the comments. It'd mean a lot to me if you guys could hit the subscribe button and put some comments in. Let's get some traction on this thing. Sorry I don't have an extended commentary tonight. I just wanted to get this out there, and just as a kind of reminder to everyone, the important stories are not the ones in the headlines. The important stories are the ones they bury on the inner pages of the newspaper. So next time you pick up one in an airport or you're hopping on the train, skip the front page. Open up to pages A2 through A8. That's where the real stories are. Thanks, everyone.